Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Eliezer Malamed Shlita. Hope everyone's having a good week so far. Yom Shlishi Pamayim Ki Tov is upon us. Please continue davening for Chaylei Tzva Gana Yisrael, for Shalom L'chol Petzuei Yisrael, and a safe return of all of our hostages, dedicating our learning to Nishmat's Seren Daniel Shemen Arav Duron V'Shel Hashem Kum Damo. The next chapter we have is Nusach HaKavua. B'kviyas Nusach Tefillah Achid, shechozer al atzmo b'chol shalosh hatfilas b'chol yom, yeshno chisaron mesuyam. In establishing a unified, singular nusach for davening, which will go for all three prayers each day, so there is a specific lacking. Hatfilah ula hapoch l'davar shebeshigro labeid es hakavana meseres beishad mispal fnei Hashem l'shono. So the purpose of prayer is to be able to speak, and we worry that sometimes it can cause you to lose your concentration when you're speaking sort of in your own language. So if we were left to our own devices and we had to use our own way of praying, we would lose it. We wouldn't have the proper amount of concentration. But if Chazal were making a set language, the righteous people would daven from the depths of their hearts beautiful prayers. So then people either don't know the words or they just run through it, and we wouldn't necessarily have the proper kavanah. The Rambam writes in the Laws of Tefillah in Perek Aleph, Halacha Daled, Shebemiyuchad achar hachurb Beis Hamikdash harishon v'galus Yisrael lebein umas ha'churfa habaya. He says that after the destruction of the first Beis Hamikdash and the Jewish people were exiled amongst the nations, so this became a widespread problem. That many of the Jewish people did not know what we call Hebrew, but really it's Lashon HaKodesh, in which the language which you're supposed to daven. And in other languages, there's not a nice way. There wasn't a pleasing way to daven. So the men of the Great Assembly, as we've been saying, therefore they sort of codified, they established one nusach for all the brachas in Tefillah, that it should be the same, in the same manner spoken and prayed by all of the Jewish people, so that it should be the language and the topic of the bracha and should have the value, regardless of how much of the language you understand. So Yisrael Nusach l'Nusach Tefillah Mesudar. So there's another addition when we have an organized tefillah. Shu kol b'sochos kol bakashos haklalios v'pratios v'levakesh, because it includes within it all of the requests, both individual and communal, that we're supposed to ask for. Lulei hanusach hamsudar. If we did not have the organized nusach of prayer, minastam kol adam hamispala atchum mesuyam. So most people would just daven sort of within their daled amos, within what they want or within what they know, or what they deserve or what they think they deserve. Harofim al choleihem, chakleim al hageshem. So the doctors would pray for their patients, and the farmers would pray for rain. V'kach meshach hazman alol haya kol yudi lispal al dvarim hakrivim li bavad. And therefore the Jews would only pray for what interests them, what's in their hearts. Toch hisnatkus mishar marachas hashifsas hatziburis, but it would have no connection to perhaps what the rest of the community might need. So therefore Chazal instituted what we know as the Amidah, the Shmona Esrei, 18 blessings, hamakifos es kol marachas hashifus hachomrios v'aruchanios shel Am Yisrael, which covers the breadth of all the physical and spiritual needs of the entire nation of Israel. V'kach shalosh pamim b'chol yom ma'azein hamispalel es kol merach hashivosav misachet im haratonos haklalim shaloma. And therefore, 3 times a day, every day, so the person who is davening becomes heard the breadth, again, of all of his personal desires, but also that which Klal Yisrael needs. So in addition to what we understand in the language of Tefillah, hu kolol b'socho ein sipur kavanos hamukos. We also have some deeper meanings there. We have deeper kavanos that are perhaps stemming from the Kabbalah. Kvisha Koster of Chaim Volozhin. So Chaim Volozhin writes the Talmud of the Grov found in the Nefesh HaChaim, V'hamaskil yovim midato, Shelo lechinam hitzruchu l'tikun tchina ketana utfila katzara kazu me'av esim zakena mehem kaman deviyim. He says the person who understands will really understand on his own that it wasn't for nothing that we had to establish these types of supplications or short prayers, meaning the Anshe Knesset Hagdola, and among them many prophets. They saw Baruch HaKodesh, and they also saw with their level of nevuah, of prophecy, and the sharp ones of them, they understood the workings of Bereshis, they understood the esoteric Masa Merkava, all the Kabbalistic notions, etc. And that's why they use specific letters and words in establishing the blessings. Every word had a purpose. They understood exactly what they were doing. It's a very Kabbalistic idea that the words that were used were meant to be a tikkun, a repair for many, many worlds and many powers up above and organizing the heavenly chariots, etc. Meaning that tefillah we have, from our point of view of including the personal, individual, and also the general communal needs, but he says also from a Kabbalistic point of view, there are certain other powers that are brought that when Anshe Knesset Hagdola, and among them who were prophets and great sages, they understood these powers and they included it as well. V'od kasav, and he writes further, Shekola kavana sheniskala lani kedushay elyon va'arizal, einem ela tipim menayam keneged omek pnimios hakavana shel Anshe Knesset Hagdola misaknei hatefillah. When we have, let's say, teachings from the Arizal, the great Kabbalists, and he says whatever they give us, it's only a drop in the bucket, to use the colloquialism, of the inner depth of the kavana that the Anshe Knesset Hagdola had, those who establish our tefillah. That in their powers of prophecy and divine spirit, Ruach HaKodesh, that they had when they created these blessings and these tefillos, so they were able to put into the words the ability to have tikkun olamos. Again, this is quite esoteric, those who are in the Kabbalistic realm. So every time you daven, you're creating these powers on high. Again, I'm not claiming to understand fully what this means. This is way above my pay grade, but for those who have a Kabbalistic bent, but just to understand that aside from the practical applications, there's also Kabbalistic and much, much deeper meaning found in the words of tefillah, and that comes from the fact that those who organized it, the Anshe Knesset Hagdola, who were members of the cadre of prophets and Talmidei Chachamim, that they had the greatest knowledge both in the revealed and that which is considered Sodei Sodos, the secrets of Judaism and the world. Again, all of that is wrapped in tefillah, so it's just something to think about when we say the words, that the words are not just words that were thrown together, but they have with them much, much deeper meaning. So we'll take that in and try and figure out what that means, but in the meantime, thanks for listening. Please continue davening for Chalei Tzvah Yisrael, for Shalom L'chol Petzua Yisrael. Safe return of all of our hostages. Lili Nishmat, Sarah and Daniel Shem, Rav Deron V'Shel Shem G'damo. Wishing everybody a great day. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.